Hi everyone, this is the LEGO Fortnite Peely and Sparkplug's camp set. It's a set that was released in June 2025 and I'm going to build it without the instructions, relying only on the box art on the front and back. And I'll mention right before I open the box that this thing does come with an additional in-game outfit with LEGO style, so assuming you buy this set when it's not too late, you can redeem some promo code and we'll have a look at that. And here's a look at the figures that we're going to get in the set. So yeah, it looks pretty interesting. I do like the box art design, definitely a lot more exciting than those black box 18 plus sets. In the set, we surprisingly get 4 numbered bags of various sizes, with only 2 being a bit larger than the others. We have these instructions that I will not be using, but we do see here everything that we get in the set, and there's a QR code to scan for points. We also get this green piece right here that's not part of any bag, so it's a piece that is 2 plates thick. It's a pretty interesting piece, and I see here it's going to be used for the terrain. It looks like there is no sticker sheet in the set, and that is a very good thing in my opinion. So let's get started with bag 1. Bag 1 gives us the Peely minifigure as well as a skeleton and this workbench. And now that we have this regular green piece next to it, we see that this is now bright green. So there is a difference between this color, and that is intentional. Bag 2 gives us the supply llama, the campfire, this spider, as well as this terrain that can be adjusted as we see on the back of the box. We basically have different parts that can be moved around according to your liking, so that's pretty interesting. Bag 3 gives us the Sparkplug minifigure, as well as the main body of the wolf. While I'm here, I'll point out the color differences between the light bluish gray and the dark bluish gray that we all know very well, and compare it and contrast it with the pearl gray color, which is a bit more rare. You can see that it's kind of in between the two and a bit more shiny. It has that nice effect to it. Bag 4 gives us this creepy looking wolf creature finishing up its legs and head, and with that we are done with the build. The set includes 2 minifigures, the ones that the set is named after, namely Peely and Sparkplug, and I'm very happy to get both of these figures in a much cheaper set than last year's Battle Bus, so these are amazing figures to get. I do love the printing on both. Peely especially, we get lots of minifigures that look vaguely like this across all different themes. Peely has a custom head mold, and this is definitely very special. It's not something that you see every day, and I'm just very happy to get this figure. Here's a closer look at what that looks like. So it's an interesting piece similar to the minifigure costume fan pieces, and we see here a custom print, Nana Nana, at the back, so that's very, very nice. I think lots of people are going to enjoy this figure, even if they have never played LEGO Fortnite. The only possible complaint that I might have about this figure is that they did not print the Classic Space logo here as an Easter egg. That's more for Classic Space fans. As a figure, it's perfect, and even here they did some printing for the top of the banana and the shine right here on the side. Very, very well done. Very well executed, very well designed. I love the big, cute eyes. Such a wonderful minifigure to get. This is Sparkplug, and she's also well done, with some very nice printing on the front, obviously, as well as the side, which is not something we see every day, so got a bit of nice arm printing there. We have some printing on the back as well. The hat and hair combo is dual molded between two different colors, the red and the medium nougat, and she also gets an alternative expression for when she is fighting or focusing in game, so it's very nice to see these two very different alternative expressions. And here's what that would look like in context, so very, very nice minifigure to get as well. Yeah, look at the shiny printing on the necklace there, the silvery printing that they did. That's deluxe. This is what I want to see from LEGO. I want to see more figures like this. So as you can see, people, LEGO can create good, high-quality minifigures in cheap sets when they want to. There are sets that cost like 5 times the cost of this set, and their minifigures are not as good as these. So maybe it's Fortnite that's insisting that LEGO really up the quality of the figures, or I don't know what else is going on. I wish all LEGO minifigures and all LEGO sets have this level of quality, both of design and execution. So this is an excellent set to get just for the figures. And the added skeleton is just a bonus. It's something else for kids to play with. We have seen this skeleton, this exact skeleton, so many times, so I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. I'm fine with its inclusion. So we're already off to a great start with these figures, but does the rest of the set hold up to scrutiny? Well, let's find out. So we have here a bunch of items that I'll look at, mostly in build order. So the first thing that we build is this workbench, and it's a very small little construction, has minimal pieces, and this is the camera-friendly angle. Here's what it looks like from the back. Not much else to see other than this camera-friendly side. And then you might think that this actually does something, but no, it just spins. It's a nice play feature. You're gonna have to pretend a little bit and use your imagination, but at least it looks cool. I like the sand green and the yellow. It looks very nice. And even the tan Technic pin is not that bad compared to the rest of the set. It kind of fits in. If it was blue, I would hate it a lot. It's a nice little construction. It might give kids some ideas on what to build or how to build, and you can also use these pieces, which are very useful, by the way, in other ways. And this here is a print, not a sticker, and I'm happy about that. The next thing that we build is this bit of terrain right here. Now, this is designed to be customizable to some extent, because you see on the front of the box and the back of the box, it's not exactly the same thing. So you see, for example, here, it looks like this with nothing on top of here. But then on the front of the box, you see like these pieces have been moved here and this has been rearranged slightly. So basically you can adjust this however you like, which I do like in LEGO. I think kids should not just follow the instructions and build something and then just let it sit and collect dust. But now you have these things that you can move around, and you can basically create whatever kind of structure you want. Just move these pieces in any which way that you like, anything that makes sense to you, anything that makes you happy. So all that is good. And the idea is that you use this as a bit of terrain to bring home the world of Fortnite without using too many pieces. And here this is one big piece that does a lot of work. I do believe this piece has been used before. I don't think it's a completely new mold for this theme, but it's been used to great effect here, because you can imagine this is a portal that takes you between one world to another. So very useful thing to have. And this big green piece here as well could be reused for other purposes. So not all the pieces in the set are tiny one by ones. You do get some large pieces as well, and that's pretty useful. So we'll take a look at this thing from all the angles, and really what you see is what you get here. No big surprises. I do like this plant piece though. Next up we have this campfire. This is constructed really well. I really like the way that they did this. The design is not symmetrical, it's not conventional. So we've seen stuff that looks similar to this, but not quite exactly like this before. So you see here, like, they're using this claw piece, and here they're using this bar piece to just give it a bit of variety. Because, you know, when you're making a real campfire, the branches of wood are not all going to be the same size, so it's a good way to approximate that. I also like the use of the yellow and the orange in the transparent variations, plus the flames to just make it look a little bit more alive, more realistic as you can get with plastic pieces. And if you shine a strong light on this, if you're looking at it in the dark, it's going to sparkle a little bit and make it feel a bit more alive. So quite a nice little fireplace. And you have this thing here that can be held by a minifigure, as shown on the box. So you can basically use the fire. You can have this bit of imaginative play where you hold this thing to the fire, and then you attach the fire piece, and like, oh, now I have the fire, I'll be able to take this with me and go explore some dark secret cave, or I might go to fight some enemy, like, for example, this spider right here, which is just a single piece. It's a little bit creepy, but that is the intent, and I suppose a lot of people will be happy to get this piece and use it for prank purposes, or just put it somewhere in the build. So yeah, it has an anti-stud. You can attach it pretty much anywhere. You could put it, for example, here in the terrain. So that's pretty cool. And you also have these TNT and axe accessories. And I know some people were saying online, I don't know where I read this, but there was someone who was saying that LEGO has stopped making the TNT piece and they will never make it again. Well, here we have it in 2025. Here's an actual LEGO TNT piece, if you're ever interested in using it for peaceful purposes, of course, or using it in-game and not to represent actual real-life explosions, according to LEGO's guidelines. We have this supply llama, which is a very interesting construction. It was provided as a very limited offer way back when LEGO Fortnite was first announced to certain very lucky individuals, and now it's been available officially in a set. Either something that's exactly it or something that looks very similar to it. Again, it's using regular LEGO pieces. Some of them might be recolors that did not exist at the time when this was first shown to the world, but there's nothing really special here. These two are prints for the eyes, and everything else is just standard LEGO bricks, plates, etc. And it does have some articulation, so the legs can go back and forth, and they can do so individually. like this, so you can put it into some kind of walking pose. The neck can be moved back like this, but it has a limiting piece that prevents it from moving forward too much, which if that bothers you, you can always remove this piece, and in that case it will be able to move down a little bit more, so at least you have that. Then you have here the neck can rotate a little bit on the stud, and then you can go up and down like this. The ears can be moved individually. The eyes can be rotated with some difficulty, or it's just easier to take them off and put them back on in the orientation that you want. And finally, the mouth can open and close. So again, what you see is what you get here. It's a very nice character to get, and because of the studs at the top, you can put a minifigure to ride on the supply llama. So here's what that looks like. So that looks pretty nice. And I don't know if you can do this in game or not, but here you can do this, and it looks pretty cool. Finally, we have the big bad wolf. I don't know if that's its official name, but that's what I'm going to call it. And yeah, this thing looks menacing, looks scary. It looks better to me in person than looking at it on the box. Like here in the box, you don't really see it that well, in my opinion. It's kind of squished. When you look at it in 3D and you get to appreciate it from all the angles, it becomes a lot more serious, a lot more interesting. And I do like the way that they did this here with a bunch of the pyramid pieces at the top. That's a bit unusual. Using this Ninjago style sword at the back, recolored in black for the tail, so that looks very scary. Yeah, the head looks menacing, even though it's a bit thin when you look at it from the top. And again, here's what it looks like from all the angles. Yeah, when you look at it from the side or from an angle like this, then it looks a lot more menacing. And because of the ball joints, you can articulate this in many different ways. So you can move the legs all the way like this, 360 degrees. You can move this forward and back, and same thing here with the ball joint. And same thing with the front legs, they're articulated in a very similar way. It's just that the design is a little bit different between the front and rear legs, and that's perfectly fine. And we do here have some studs that can be used to sit a minifigure. So for example, if Peely has hypnotized or conquered this wolf, then you can ride him like this, and that's an interesting scene. And if you have him standing, you might be able to fit 2 minifigures here, although it might be a bit of a squeeze. You might need to remove a few more pieces to have 2 minifigures sitting on this thing at once. So you could, of course, make up your own stories and use this wolf other than for its intended purpose, just to be a big bad enemy, from what I understand. But yeah, it's a nice plaything to add to the set. Again, the tail goes up and down, and you can rotate this as well, so that's pretty nice. And with these clips, you can have a minifigure hold on to it as well, so that's another option right there. And it actually looks nice, like him coming with the sword and trying to cut off the tail. That's a pretty nice pose. So yeah, there's a bunch of things that you can do with this wolf, and yeah, you can make it angle the head upwards and howl at the moon. So that's an interesting pose right there. And I'm actually wondering, am I able to make it stand up on its hind legs? Let me try to do that. Using the tail, it's actually very easy to make it stand like this. If you don't use the tail, it's going to be a lot more challenging, but I believe it's still doable if you know what you're doing and you have the time and patience. Yeah, like this, for example. It is like on a flat surface, it's not attached with any studs, but yeah, you can make it stand like this. And if you do attach it to a studded surface like this, then you can make it pretty much any way that you like within the limits of articulation of the pieces themselves. So it's pretty flexible, and I'm pretty happy with this thing. There's very good color consistency. It's just black and gray all throughout, and there's just a little bit of yellow here for the eyes to make it look evil. Maybe orange or red would have been a better color here, but that's purely subjective, and I know they want to stay true to the source material, so I'm fine with that. And yeah, it's a nice build for what it is, and for a set of this price, I really cannot ask for much more. So yeah, bringing the conversation to price and value, this is a set that costs $23 US, 20 euros or $25 Canadian for 250 pieces. So in Canada, at least, it's the perfect 10 cents price per piece ratio. You got 2 amazing minifigures, a skeleton, 2 animals that are both very iconic, just because it's the supply llama that many people wanted when it first came out. It does look cool with all the colors and all. And then this wolf right here, which is a bit larger, a bit more interesting in terms of its size and build, but at the same time, if you're not a big Fortnite fan, I don't know if this wolf is going to mean much to you. But it's still a nice build. As a Lego thing, you can take this and put it in your Lego city, and it's going to scare the minifigures away. So it's useful. You can use it for Halloween stuff or other purposes, even if you're not into Lego Fortnite. The terrain is okay. I'm not going to say it's super amazing. It's just some pieces put on top of each other, but you do get these large pieces that are useful for your own custom creations, and I do like the masonry bricks here, so it's useful. Not amazing or anything, but nice to get. This is also useful. It provides some imaginative play, and I just like the look of the thing. It looks pretty nice and proper, and the campfire, I think, is done very well, so I'm happy with this. So overall, no complaints about this set. I really like it. I like the price, I like the figures, I like the builds. Building this without the instructions, relying only on the box, was pretty simple, as you might expect for a set of this size and price. You have to guess a little bit about the llama, how it's built on the inside, but using the process of elimination, it's actually not that difficult. And the wolf, if you look at it from multiple angles, from the front and back of the box, you will be able to figure it out, so it's totally doable. This is easy, this is easy, this is super easy. Like, once you know that these yellow pieces go here, not that much to say about the build experience. There's not any advanced build techniques. You could say, oh, there's a little bit of studs on the side construction here for this llama, a lot of stuff attached with clips, which if you're very new to Lego, if you're coming back to Lego after like 35 years, this might be new to you, but there's nothing here that's especially groundbreaking as far as I know. But that doesn't mean it's a bad build. If you don't build that many Lego sets like I do, I'm sure you're going to enjoy the build and enjoy the final product if you like what you see, if you like Lego Fortnite, or if you just like this collection of objects. So I do think that the price that we're asked to pay for this set is very reasonable, and if you find it on discount, that makes it even better. So definitely no complaints there. And just to emphasize this point, this is the Lego Star Wars Death Trooper and Night Trooper Battle Pack set, which came out on the same day same time, same price, and both of these are licensed sets. So this one is licensed from Star Wars and Disney, this one is licensed with Fortnite. So you see here the very big difference in volume of stuff between the Fortnite set and the Star Wars set. Yes, the Star Wars set does give you 4 figures instead of 2, but this one does include a skeleton and the supply llama and just a lot more stuff here compared to here, where you just get the figures plus this thing, which is basically like a chibi dropship. It's pretty funny, it's pretty comical. It's not bad per se, but like this is like a $5 thing in my opinion. So, and we've taken a look at this in another video, so you can check that out if you haven't already. But basically, either you get just this and the figures, or you get all of this stuff. And just to compare this with the wolf, this does feel a little bit heavier than the wolf, to be fair. And the wolf can transport less minifigures unless you attach them here. Yeah, not a very good comparison for the Star Wars set, because yeah, like the wolf and this are comparable. And then with the Fortnite set, you also get the terrain, the supply llama, the campfire, the workbench, the skeleton. Well, the skeleton I guess would count as a figure, but you get the idea. The spider as well. So there's just a very big difference between what you get with both sets. And I would say if you just want a good building experience, if you just want to have fun, I think the Fortnite set offers a lot more play value if you don't care about collecting these Star Wars figures. Yeah, I did enjoy both sets, although I do think this one was a bit overpriced, but the Fortnite set offers a lot more value in my opinion. And on top of that, we have this bonus Fortnite in-game outfit with LEGO style. And the way that this works is you go to the first page of the instruction manual. It's actually this QR code right here. There's no additional QR code that you need to worry about. Actually, it says so right here. And of course, if you're under 18, ask your parents' permission before going online. Terms and conditions apply, etc., etc. But yeah, you can get this skin in-game, so that's pretty interesting. And then there's no additional information about Fortnite in the instruction manual for people who don't know a lot about it. You just build things and figure things out. There are other Fortnite sets that are advertised at the end of the instructions, including this giant Colombo and the Durr Burger restaurant. So are you interested in any of these sets? If yes, please leave a comment down below with which set you're interested. And if enough people comment and like those comments, then I will get these sets and build them without the instructions. So now let's take a look at Fortnite in-game. Here we see the human and LEGO versions of the skin, as well as the game intro. And I do like the mountain in the background, reminds me of Barad-dûr. Here's a bit of gameplay that I recorded, and it took me 8 tries to record this whole thing just because it's very uncooperative on mobile. But here's the footage I was able to grab anyway. So you can travel around in the world, you can run around like this, you can perform certain actions, and to get between different places you have to follow predefined paths, like you cannot jump, or at least I could not figure out a way to jump. So you'll have to go around in this case, and at some point we will find a ramp. You can also collect items by pressing the backpack icon to put them in the backpack. So we collected wood and granite just now. We can use those items later to build stuff with a crafting table. You also see some of the ruins that inspired the LEGO set. And yeah, using that ramp we're able to get to this level. You can interact with minifigures, you can explore this world, and right now it is nighttime, although the sun will rise in a few minutes, just like Minecraft. You also see the fireplace right there, or the campfire rather. And I do like the build of the house, even though it's incomplete. So the minifigures there can give you some useful advice and hints. For example, the crafting table, or the crafting bench rather, and how to use it. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting game. Yeah, in the crafting bench menu, we get to see that we need to collect more wood and more items in order to create these weapons that will be useful later on. So basically you use these weapons to cut trees down faster, fight enemies like the big bad wolf, which I did see in a previous recording, but unfortunately I lost it. I was not able to make him show up again, but you get the idea. So yeah, the campfire here is a bit larger than the one that's included in the LEGO set, but that's not a big deal in my opinion. And the crafting bench is slightly larger. And here's a look on the inside. I just find it cute, the minifigure sleeping in the bed. That's just really nice to see. And yeah, sometimes the controls are a little bit finicky, where I try to go somewhere, but the controls are not really responding well to my input, which makes it seem like I'm just going around. And if we look at the sky, we see that the sun is starting to rise. So in many, many ways, this game reminds me of Minecraft, with the sun rising and setting, the fact you have to build stuff, fight enemies, and so on. It's very, very similar. Of course, this one is higher fidelity, it's not all pixelated, but the main idea still remains. So yeah, that's my look at the LEGO Fortnite, Peely and Sparkplug's camp set. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And be sure to like and subscribe for more amazing videos coming your way very soon.